Across generations and throughout regimes of patriarchy, colonialism, and capitalism, African women have boldly asserted their position as critical actors, dismantling structures of oppression, organizing for activism, and providing sought leadership to transform the lives of women and girls on the continent and globally. From the 15th to the 19th of November 2006, over 100 feminist activists from all over Africa and the diaspora met in Ghana's capital, Accra, to chart ways to strengthen and grow the feminist movement on the continent. At this forum, also named the African Feminist Forum, the activists sought to define and affirm their commitment to feminist principles, to guide analysis and practice. The forum adopted the Charter of Feminist Principles as a well-thought foundational guide for the identity and work of African feminists on the continent. With this charter, the African Feminist Forum reaffirms its commitment to dismantling patriarchy in all its manifestations in Africa and defend and respect the rights of all women without qualification. As African feminists, we politicize the struggle for women's rights, question the legitimacy of the structures that keep women subjugated, and develop tools for transformatory analysis and action. Our ideological task as feminists is to understand the system of patriarchy in African society, and our political task is to end it by investing individual and institutional energies in the struggle against all forms of patriarchal oppression and exploitation. Modern African states were built on the backs of African feminists who fought alongside men for the liberation of the continent. As we craft new African states in this new millennium, we also craft new identities for African women. Identities as full citizens, free from patriarchal oppression, with rights of access, ownership, and control over resources and our own bodies, and utilizing positive aspects of our cultures in liberating and nurturing ways. As we assert our space as African feminists, we also draw inspiration from our feminist ancestors who blazed the trail and made it possible to affirm the rights of African women. As individual feminists, we are committed to and believe in gender equality based on feminist principles, which include the indivisibility, inalienability, and universality of women's human rights, a spirit of feminist solidarity and mutual respect based on frank, honest, and open discussion of difference with each other, the support, nurture, and care of other African feminists, along with the care for our own well-being, the practice of non-violence and the achievement of non-violent societies, the right of all women to live free of patriarchal oppression, discrimination, and violence, the right of all women to have access to sustainable and just livelihoods, as well as welfare provision, including quality healthcare, education, water, and sanitation, freedom of choice and autonomy regarding bodily integrity issues, including reproductive rights, abortion, sexual identity, and sexual orientation, are key to the feminist movement, and the acknowledgement of the feminist agency of African women, which has a rich history that has been largely undocumented and ignored. As feminist organizations, we commit to, among other things, advocating for openness, transparency, equality, and accountability, insisting on and supporting African women's labor rights, including egalitarian governance, fair and equal remuneration and maternity policies, while using power and authority responsibly, and managing institutional hierarchies with respect. Being open to critically assessing our impact as feminist organizations, and being honest and proactive with regards to our role in the movement. and creating and sustaining feminist organizations to foster women's leadership, because women's organizations and networks should be led and managed by women. As leaders in the feminist movement, we recognize that feminist agency has popularized the notion of women as leaders. As feminist leaders, we are also committed to making a critical difference in leadership, based on the understanding that the quality of women's leadership is even more important than the numbers of women in leadership. We thus believe in and commit ourselves to disciplined work ethics, guided by integrity and accountability at all times. We commit to expanding and strengthening a multi-generational network and pool of feminist leaders across the continent, while ensuring that the feminist movement is recognized as a legitimate constituency for women in leadership positions. We commit to building and expanding our knowledge and information base on an ongoing basis as the foundation for shaping our analysis and strategies, and for championing a culture of learning, beginning with ourselves within the feminist movement. We believe in providing opportunities for young feminists by nurturing and mentoring them in a non-matronizing manner, crediting African women's labor, intellectual and otherwise, in our work are pivotal in our commitment towards feminist leadership in Africa. Our feminist identity is not qualified with ifs, buts, or howevers. We are feminists. Full stop.